They've come in, offered you a free scheme, and they just ruined your home. How does that make you feel, Rhiannon?
Absolutely heartbroken.
Neil McAvoy, leader of Propel, I'm in Cairo in my stag to look at a shocking case, a house completely ruined under the Arbed scheme. Going to be meeting Rhiannon, the homeowner. You may remember a couple of years ago I raised this with the First Minister in Senedd, and essentially he did not want to know. I would say your due diligence on Arbed is an embarrassment. People in Wales are struggling, facing costs. Will you now launch an inquiry?
There were people who were living in unacceptable conditions. They now live in homes that are well insulated and well heated. I think that's a matter to be proud of. I understand that the member doesn't. Really shocking. You're not going to believe the state of the house and just how badly the homeowner's been treated. So let's go meet Rhiannon. Rhiannon, what's been your experience of the Arbed scheme?
A total horror story, to be honest. Back in 2012 they put insulation on the outside of my home.
Yeah.
And I've had problems ever since.
Yeah.
I just had constant damp, plaster falling off. There's just horror.
You said these are new walls, aren't they?
This is a new wall, because we had to replace the back door to make it a disabled door for my husband.
Yeah.
And those walls are practically 2 years old, and the damp that's inside the wall due to the insulation on the outside have just caused the new plaster to fall off. It's all bubbling, and it's just like a disease. It just keeps on going throughout the home.
Yeah. You said upstairs is bad as well.
Upstairs is bad as well, because the water just tracks right up, and I've got mortar falling off now in my bedroom.
If you look at this, as Rhiannon is saying, Rhiannon calls it a disease. This is quite incredible for a new wall, and you can see the damage. So a very simple question for viewers, Rhiannon, is since 2012 and the complete destruction that the work caused in your home, who has helped you?
Nobody has helped me at all. I've had to try and basically repair the work myself. We've spent possibly close to £20,000.
20,000.
Yeah, we've redone the living room because the water was coming through the walls so bad. We've had to put insulation boards now on the inside of the living room to stop the water coming in. So we've had to completely right the way round to put these boards on the inside of the wall.
Yeah.
And then replaster the whole room. We had to replace the carpets because the water was tracking in.
Yeah.
From that.
I'm also interested to know, because there's a bit of a story here, isn't there, in terms of tender competition. Whose company carried out the work here?
The company that carried out the work here was due down to Green Renewables Wales. It was run by Phil White, which was a local Labour councillor.
But he was a cabinet councillor, wasn't he?
He was a cabinet councillor, yeah.
Right. I'd just like to develop that a little bit further. So a cabinet Labour councillor's company carried out this appalling work here. And what support have you got from your Labour MP, your Labour member of the Senedd and other Labour councillors here?
To be honest, I did contact Chris Elmore for help. There was letters back and forth, we was getting updates, but that's all it seemed to be. They just kind of closed ranks, and there was nothing heard again after about 2017.
God.
They just left us in a lurch. Nothing was done. Trading Standards said there was nothing that could be done because Phil White's company had gone into liquidation, so there was no recourse.
I'm interested, we spoke earlier, I'm interested in work which was said to have been carried out but was not carried out. Can you explain that?
They said that there was external wall insulation done, internal wall insulation done, and they said that they put a full heating system in when only it was a boiler. No radiators, no thermostats, nothing were put in with the boiler. It was just the boiler.
So Bridgend Council have complained to the Ombudsman?
Bridgend Council now, since 2020, have put themselves into Ombudsman situation, but I think that's only because the Arbed scheme actually came to light about what was happening in the area, and so many people were complaining. I don't know what is happening. Nobody seems to be telling me what's happening either. The only thing that we know was there was no audit trail, no paperwork, and they only want to take responsibility now for 25 houses.
Wow.
And there's 104 in
God.
Caira. So the
104 houses, and they're only taking responsibility for
25.
25. So has the Ombudsman or has the council referred this matter to the Serious Fraud Squad?
Not that I know of, and my house is not the only house that have been claimed for as well. There's other houses that have been claimed to have had insulation put on them, and they've had warranties for them, and they haven't even had the work done. So, I mean, it's not just a case of claiming for my house.
Yeah.
For work that haven't been done as other houses also.
Have they offered you any compensation?
No compensation have been offered at all. Nothing, and or not even an offer to fix any issues. So, I mean, it would be nice to have some sort of compensation because of like the amount of work that we've had to do. I mean, just putting in a brand new kitchen because of the damp caused the old one to rot.
Outside, you said the walls. You just jet washed outside recently, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Because
I just jet washed.
they were black, yeah, the walls were black?
They were black, absolutely black.
How do you feel that they've come in, offered you a free scheme, and they just ruined your home? How does that make you feel, Rhiannon?
Absolutely heartbroken. It's my home that I'm paying for, and I can't afford now to fix it anymore. I've paid out so much to try and fix their issues, and I'm heartbroken why I should have to try and fix all these issues that they've caused to my home as well. It's a losing. I'm fighting a losing battle because I'm constantly having to fix something that's been down to their incompetence.
The pledge that I will give you today is you're going to have the full support of Propel. We're a brand new party, and we're here for people who've been taken advantage of, really, the underdog, the person who is trodden on by the system. You've got these Labour politicians running everything. They've run everything for the last 100 years, and this just stinks, and it's everything we're against. So what we're going to do is, as I said, I'm going to refer this matter to the police, and hopefully after re-election we can really get stuck in on these issues. You've got council elections next year, so all these people responsible for this are going to be up for re-election. I'm sure maybe if we speak to colleagues in Propel, that what we could have as an election pledge is that people like you have this work put right. I think that's the only decent thing to do, and I'm sure that our Propel candidates in Bridgend, I'm sure they'd support that. That's one thing we can look at as well.
Thank you.